Welcome back to another edition of our Griz Tracks video here at the Missoulian. I'm AJ Mazzolini, sports writer.
And I'm Bill Speltz, sports writer and beat writer for the Griz football.
And I'm Bob Meseroll, the sports editor.
And the Grizzlies started Big Sky Conference play last week and didn't start it the way they'd like down in northern Arizona. It was an ugly game that the Griz haven't seen one like that yet this year. Their first loss, Bill.
Yeah, I think they were all pretty disappointed in the level of intensity, and of course the turnovers hurt. And looking over the film, these were turnovers. You got to give credit to Northern Arizona. They hit helmet right on the ball the way they teach you to do it. You can talk to your blue in the face about how you're supposed to protect the ball and do drills in practice, but when you get hit at game speed like that, right on the ball, it's tough to keep hold of the ball.
Yeah, and there was a couple of those defensive turnovers Northern Arizona was able to take back for touchdowns, and really even without those two scores, though, the Grizzlies looked like they were in a little bit of trouble. The offensive line played really like it hasn't all year.
Yeah, they gave up 5 sacks after giving up just 1 sack in their previous 3 games. I talked to Coach Gragg this week, and he said that he would really be worried if he looked at the film and thought, geez, I don't know what we could do better. But he said he looked at the film and everything he saw he thought was fixable. And in talking to Kelby Oyland, the center and kind of the quarterback of the offensive line, he said the exact same thing, that they were embarrassed every time they turned around. Jordan Johnson was on the ground, and they're not going to let that happen this week.
Yeah, they got some things to clean up, and that left Johnson in a tough spot, one that he hasn't been in all season either. He was out of this world good so far at quarterback until that game, and it shows when you don't have protection, things can be a little bit more difficult to play quarterback. Now, on the other side of the ball, though, the defense didn't look as good as they have this year either, and that was kind of one of the highlights that we were looking to look into to see if the Griz D, who have been really good this year, how they would stand up against their first real test in northern Arizona.
Yeah, they struggled, and defensive end Tyrone Holmes was talking about it earlier this week, how they effectively took the defensive line out of the game with their quick-hitting pass patterns and just keeping the good balance, and maybe out on the edge, singling up on the the cornerbacks where it was tough. They have some good physical receivers, and their quarterback played better than I think probably anybody expected, Kieran McDonagh.
Yeah, it made things interesting for the Griz. But the Grizzly defense is going to have another pretty tough test this week when they're back at home against Portland State. 1:30 kickoff in Washington Grizzly Stadium.
Yeah, the numbers are startling. I guess it's important to remember that they played 2 Division II teams. So that's important to note. Maybe the most impressive one is that they scored 34 points last week against Cal Poly in a loss. They were up 2 touchdowns on Cal Poly in the third quarter. And then the Mustangs rallied. But if you look at it from the balance, they've got a quarterback who's real dynamic, Kieran McDonagh, who he's a good threat running and passing. And they've got a running back, DJ Adams, a transfer from Maryland, who has put up big numbers. He's not as quick probably as Zach Bauman, the Northern Arizona running back, more of a power running back. But according to their coach, Nigel Burton, he has improved his speed this year. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch that one as well. And a real important game early in the season for both teams after both have started 0-1 in conference play. Check the Missoulian this weekend to see how that game went, and stay tuned on Missoulian.com for our continued Griz coverage.